He's a man with talent.
Call the doctor!
I am a real doctor, see? Look!
All he needs is his family's support.
You miserable, pathetic loser!
Is this your dad?
His girlfriend's love.
Betty! 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 Stop it!
And a little shove in the right direction.
Come on, back as fast as you can. The backwards man.
Tom Green.
What God's name are you doing?
Freddy Got Fingered. Rated R.
In the late 90s to the early 2000s, MTV went on a shift in brand which would significantly shape the network's identity, from its core showing of music videos to slowly shifting into television. The most popular type included an embrace of edgy, rebellious dark comedy shown in their shows, which at the time would be a cultural highlight of the late 90s to the Y2K era. Shows like Beavis and Butthead, Jackass, Dario, or Punk'd were quite a few of these examples. This is where Tom Green comes in, a Canadian from Canada who was known at the time for his self-titled show, The Tom Green Show, which originally debuted in Canadian television in 1994. MTV quickly adapted this in their channel in 1999, deriving from its original Canadian version, and at the time was notorious for its shock humor and surreal, almost Dadaist-like sketches.
Come on! Come on, we can revive it! Come on, man!
He was kind of like a Y2K Eric Andre. Anyways, the show would quickly garner massive media attention and would see Green rising up into fame, stardom, and massive amounts of controversy.
Going back to Times Square with your MTV, man.
But that didn't stop Green from being as stupid and as Dadaist as he was.
My bum is on the rail! Bum is on the rail! Look at me! My bum is on the rail!
His success would instantly catch up into the mainstream media, causing him to appear in several mainstream Hollywood movies such as Charlie's Angels, Road Trip, and even a cameo in Malcolm in the Middle.
Son of a bitch, I'm gonna chew off your face, I'm gonna spit it out, and I'm gonna dance on it! I gotta kill you! I gotta drag your carcass to—
His widely publicized marriage with Drew Barrymore grew even more of this attention.
Going to Disneyland, and we got married.
Burned down!
Are you okay?
Oh no, the house burned down!
Alongside his testicular cancer special, which premiered on MTV in 2000, known to be groundbreaking at the time for showing more of his vulnerable side.
Yeah. We like the hair.
But the real kickstart to his rise in fame was the verse in the song The Real Slim Shady, where he got called out by Eminem. You know, the verse, sometimes I just want to get on TV and just let loose, dead moose, you know, that type of stuff.
Sometimes I want to get on TV and just let loose, but can't, but it's cool for Tom Green to hump a dead moose.
All of which culminated into him being a widely known figure in the industry overnight. Everything was going well for Green, until 20th Century Fox saw the success he was making, approached him one day and landed him a deal to write and direct his own comedy film, lending him $14 million to basically make whatever he wanted with little to no studio interference, hopefully to make lots of money due to the success he was making. This, in retrospect, was a bad idea, but knowing Green, he would literally take this case. So he happily obliged and started to create what would soon to be called Freddy Got Fingered, a movie that was released in 2001, pre-9/11, starring Green, Julie Haggerty, and Rip Torn, to name a few. The film is about a 20-year-old something animator trying to land a deal with Hollywood while struggling to deal with his abusive father, played by Rip Torn, who is just as insane and over the top as Green is in the film.
Wait a minute. You're crippled.
Dad.
What?
Dad.
You got a problem with my legs?
No, you've got a problem with your legs. Either that or you're just lazy.
Now, keep in mind, this movie came out from a time where shock humor and comedy movies were pretty much a common trope everywhere. I mean, you had movies like There's Something About Mary, Old School, American Pie, the South Park movie, and this movie was no exception to that. Too far from that, as people came to realize.
What is the most disgusting film of 2001? Well, let's see. In a field that includes C-Spot Run, Monkey Bone, Tomcats, and Joe Dirt, so we got some great contenders.
Yeah.
The champion is Freddy Got Fingered, with Tom Green making David Spade look like Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey look like Laurence Olivier.
So it gets complicated because then, you know, how do you define failure? It came out, Roger Ebert, and it wasn't Siskel, it was the other guy. He had another guy there.
Oh, yeah,
Roper.
the second string.
Ebert and Roper.
Ebert and Roper, they sent that guy in.
Yeah, even he didn't like it.
The MPAA gave this movie an R rating. That's definitive evidence that the MPAA ratings board is morally adrift. and that we need a workable adult rating for movies like this.
You're absolutely right. This is ground zero. It has to be ground zero of bad comedies. And Tom Green with this horse and with this elephant, if a woman was doing that, this movie would be banned in Tijuana, let alone getting an R rating.
The movie was released on April 20, 2001 to massive negative reception for both critics and audiences alike, noting its abnormal sense of humor, unfunny gags and setups, and treatment of subject matter, notably family abuse, animal abuse, child abuse, and fetus abuse. Yeah. As Roger Ebert once quoted, "This movie doesn't scrape the bottom of the barrel. This movie isn't the bottom of the barrel. This movie isn't below the bottom of the barrel. This movie doesn't even deserve to be mentioned in the same sentence with barrels." I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh, wake up your baby! Guys!
Can he do it like this? Huh?
The film would soon become despised as one of the worst films ever made, grossing over the same amount of money as its budget, which was $14 million, and mostly killed off Green's career from the mainstream media. Even sweeping off several Razzie nominations, including Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. Green himself even attended the award show, bringing his own red carpet, and allegedly played the harmonica on stage for more than an hour before being dragged out by security.
When I made this movie, I didn't think that I was going to get this much, praise and adulation. So I'm very happy. From day one, when we started writing it, said we wanted to win a Raspberry Award. So I'm glad my dream has come true. I'm very proud. I'm happy. I'm excited, and it's a very proud day for me. Thanks very much.
Tom, how would you describe?
As years passed on though, the film soon became a point for reevaluation, as people soon began to notice that maybe Green did all of this for a reason, as no comedy movie known at the time was willing to push the boundaries for what was shock humored as much as Green wanted to, as people pointed out that it was, quote, less of a conventional comedy than a borderline Dadaist provocation, a $50 million prank at the studio's expense, meaning to say, people began noticing the sheer ambition, self-awareness, and willpower that Tom Green had with the movie, which he used in order to prank 20th Century Fox for even giving him that money in the first place.
What you need here is elevation, okay? There actually has to be something that happens that's actually funny. What the f*** is happening here?
What are we doing?
As a result of this, the film gained traction in the media once again as one of the most misunderstood comedies of the 20th century. I mean, just look at the rating curve for this thing on Letterboxd, Jesus Christ. Some even compared it to the works of Jean-Luc Godard, François du Cinema, Peter Greenaway, and John Waters in a sense. In another review by Roger Ebert of another movie also starring Green, released in 2002 the following year, called Stealing Harvard, he said this about the movie. The thing is, I remember Freddy Got Fingered more than a year later. I refer to it sometimes. It is a milestone. And for all its sins, it was at least an ambitious movie, a go-for-broke attempt to accomplish something. It failed, but it does not let me convinced that Tom Green doesn't have any good work in him. Anyone with his nerve and total lack of taste is sooner or later going to make a movie worth seeing.
I mean, I don't think this movie is for certain types of people, and I think it's the kind of movie that if you like to kind of let loose and have fun and see something a little bit different and off the beaten track, maybe you would like this movie. But it's certainly not what I would consider to be, a typical comedy movie, and that might maybe confuse some people.
Now, it was said by Green himself that the first finished product of this movie was initially 7 hours long, and would happily do a director's cut if the studio would lend him the scenes to do so.
So when we finished our first pass on the edit of Freddy Got Fingered, I was surprised to see that it was 7.5 hours long. Obviously far too long for a commercial feature film. So we had to cut some scenes out of the movie.
Now, I honestly don't know if Tom Green said this as a joke or not. Obviously, I wasn't there in the production, but, knowing him, this may as well just be the case. I also want to add that since the rights to 20th Century Fox was bought by Disney, this thing is technically considered to be a Disney film, so, can't wait for this to be released on Disney+.
Backwards man, the backwards man. I go up as fast as you can. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backward man. The backwards man, the backward man. Backwards man, the backward man. I go up backwards fast as you can. I go up backwards fast as you can.
Dad.
What? God, name are you doing it?
I honestly think it's a pretty funny film. Not because of how bad it is, no, not like that at all, but just because of how over the top and nearly self-aware it is of its own existence. In a post-ironic, sort of chronically online sense, it does feel like a pioneer of those modern anti-comedies you see on shows from channels like Adult Swim.
I'm an eagle.
If you meet me online by Grubb's Tavern, I will show you where the treasure is hidden.
Or in a more modern sense, real YouTube channels, rage baiters, or accounts on Instagram that just post whatever.
Everything's okay. Everything's under control.
So I do have to give Tom Green credits where credit's due. He may have just pulled out the greatest rage bait of the century.